I request all of you all to please stand up. We are expecting the dignitaries. Yeah. We welcome Justice N. Santosh Hegre. Can we have a huge round of applause? I request all of you all to please be seated. Good morning and a very warm welcome to the inauguration of Justice N. Santosh Hegre National Moot Court Competition 2023. We at Alliance School of Law, Alliance University are extremely proud to host universities and colleges from across the country at our campus for this moot court competition. Advocacy is an art requiring continuous practice and hard work to perfect and refine the same. And activities like moots are one of several endeavors in this pursuit. After months of relentless effort and perseverance, we have come to this day, which will set this competition in motion in anticipation of some intellectually driven discourses. But before moving any further, I would request all the dignitaries present on stage to please proceed to the dais for the lighting of the lamp. I request all of you to please stand up.
या कुन्देतु तुषारः धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रान्विता या पीडा वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वे पद्मा या ब्रह्मा शंकर सरस्वती भगवती निशेषजाड्यापः.
Thank you so much.
We need women who are so strong, yet can be gentle, so educated, yet can be humble, so fierce, yet can be compassionate, so passionate, yet can be rational, and so disciplined, yet can be free. And I can always claim with a pride, our university has such great wonder women leading us. And now it's my privilege to call upon one such wonder woman, our respected Dean Ma'am, Dr. Kiran Dennis Gardner. Our Dean Ma'am has more than 3 decades of academic experience and has contributed immensely in the field of law. Her areas of interest include criminal law, constitutional law, gender studies, and research methodology. Ma'am has also actively contributed to police training programs in the areas of Juvenile Justice Act, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, Domestic Violence Act, the Amendment of Criminal Laws, and bail provision. Ma'am has also delivered various lectures on sexual harassment at workplace, women empowerment, right to information, and women's right to maintenance and property. Dr. Gardner is a holder of 2 doctorate degrees in law and education. Ma'am has to her credit organizations of various national and international moot court competitions, including the 34th Bar Council of India Moot Court in 2014, which shows her zeal and zest towards promoting legal education and developments of skills required for the field. It's my privilege to call upon our respected Dean, Ma'am, Dr. Kiran Dennis Gardner, who has been our constant support to address the gathering. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Bharti. With due respect to Justice N. Santosh Hegde, my colleague, Dr. Mukul, my faculty colleagues from the other departments, students, participants from all over the country. I'm really being humbled to be here today. We were talking to Justice Santosh Hegde just before coming here, and we were trying to see whether, we could ask him to get, we could write his biography or something. He said, no, except this competition, he is not given consent to use his name anywhere else. And I'm telling you, my 40 years now into academics, I somehow never feel like touching anybody's feet. In my life, I have found 2 persons. One was the dean of our own Maharaja Sayaji Rao University, Professor Dholakia. Whenever I went to his house, and I used to see him on his, jhula there in Gujarat, and would go back and sit next to him, and you learn a lot, much more than you would learn going through many other books or many other discourses. The same feeling I got when twice I went to meet Justice Santosh Hegde. Last time when I went, when me and Abhishek were there, and when we were talking, like I asked him, "Sir, can I touch your feet?" He said, "Nahi, mera pair ko nahi chuna. You do well, that is enough in life." And I'm telling you, life, you need to have some mentors. And if you have mentors like him, you have a direction for your life. And just 1 hour before we came here, he was here at 7:30. We were expecting him at 8. Maybe the traffic was not there. We rushed in. But I'm telling you that 1 hour that we were there, it was such a lot of wisdom that we got from him in that 1 hour. I would not like to take time now. We already had interaction yesterday. It would be nice for us to listen to him. We would still get an opportunity to be together, and not taking much time. I would thank Sir for being with us, and would ask the anchors to take the program further. Thank you. Have a very good day.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving forward, we are truly ecstatic, humbled at the same time to have among us a pioneer of legal profession, epitome of judicial integrity, and an inspiration for a generation of judicial officers, Honorable Justice N. Santosh Hegde. Justice Hegde has been an astounding and exemplary legal professional and has served in both the bar and the bench. Graduating from the renowned University Law College, Bangalore in 1965, Justice Hegde enrolled as an advocate in January of 1966. Working his way forward, Justice Hegre was designated as a senior advocate in May 1984 and served as the Advocate General for Karnataka for 4 distinguished years. Justice Hegre has also had the honor of serving as the Additional Solicitor General and Solicitor General to the Union of India. Justice Hegre was appointed as a justice in the Supreme Court on 8th January 1999 and served for a period of more than 6 years, wherein he delivered several pivotal and landmark judgments. After his retirement from the Supreme Court, Justice Hegre had the opportunity to preside as the chairperson of the Telecom Dispute Settlement Appellate Tribunal, following which Justice Hegre was appointed as a Lokayukt of Karnataka State. As a Lokayukt of the Karnataka State, Justice Hegre made significant strides in an attempt to weed out irregularities and corruptions. Perhaps his most significant work in Lokayukt was when he and the Karnataka Lokayukt, despite being under tremendous political pressure, exposed irregularities in the Bellary mines, proving that the true essence of law is the dispensation of justice and welfare of people. We are humbled to have Justice Hegre amongst us. An Alliance School of Law and Alliance University is honored to have been given the consent to use Sir's name for our moot court competition, as it is individuals like Santosh Hegre Sir that inspire the newer generations of lawyers to uphold the rule of law and strive for a more equitable, tolerant, and just society. It is my esteemed pleasure to invite Honorable Justice N. Santosh Hegre to share his valuable insights. But before that, I would request our Dean Ma'am, Dr. Kiran Gardner, to welcome him with a bouquet and present a memento as a token of gratitude from Alliance University. Can we have a huge round of applause while we do that? We are truly honored to have you here, sir. Over to you, sir.
Very good morning to you all. Dean, Alliance School of Law, Dr. Kiran Dennis Gardner, other members of the faculty, teaching and non-teaching faculties present here, participants in moot court competition that is taking place under the aegis of this university, other students. It's a wonderful occasion for me to be addressing such a blessed student crowd. I say it blessed because you are into a legal profession on your way, becoming lawyers. Whereas during my time, we became law graduates and entered the profession and learned the professional ethics and requirements after joining the profession. I had never entered a court hall in my life until I became an enrolled lawyer. And that too, for the first couple of years, I went and sat next to my senior and observed how the proceedings were taking place and what are the rules to be followed in the court. Till then, I did not know also. To be frank, during my time, law was the last resort of an unemployed graduate. It was a part-time course, a 2-year course after law degree, after a degree. It was a 2-year course. And it was in the morning or the evening part-time course because most of the students were working somewhere else and they were there to get an additional degree. And none of us, I think, even thought whether we'll enter the profession or go into some other work or something like that, you know. With that as it may, I accidentally joined the legal profession. I never planned to be a lawyer at all, the thing. But every step, things had changed in my favor, and which happened to be something which took me forward in the profession. Ultimately, I landed as either most wanted or most unwanted judge in the Supreme Court directly in the thing, For 6 years I served, and the gentleman who introduced me said, Eric, you wrote some great judgments. I never wrote such judgments at all and all. I just decided the case on the facts of the case and a little bit of law maybe to touch it here and there. But my dear students, you are all blessed. Really, because you come out as lawyers. Unlike students of my days and other thing and all. You are capable of arguing a case straight away. You know the case laws, if you study the sub-facts of the case, and I'm sure you'll be as good as a topmost lawyer in the country, because you are given all those facilities. That's why I said you are blessed students. You are into a wonderful profession which can compete with any other profession, both financially as well as reputation-wise. You are into a great profession. But I have one little doubt about this profession. How long will this profession continue? I often give examples of failures of constitutional institutions to various students because of my experience in Karnataka Lokayukta. I visited more than 1,600 education institutions, leaving apart other functions and the thing to share my experience as a Lokayukta with the thing and all. In that process, I very often tell the students what is happening in different constitutional authorities. It could be the legislature, it could be the executive, it could be the judiciary also. Coming to judiciary, I give an example of what's happening according to me. That's if there is a dispute between husband and wife, husband is 25 years old, wife is 20 years old, and they have some disputes. So one of them goes to court, either asking for restitution of conjugal rights or maybe asking for a divorce. By the time the final judgment comes from the Supreme Court, husband will be 85 years old and wife will be 80 years old. We have a saying, justice delayed is justice denied. But we also have a counter saying, justice hurried is justice buried. But my dear students, if people must have confidence in this profession, then there should be a quicker way to find a finality to the dispute. How you find it, I don't want to talk about it. I do talk very often about it, but then you say, oh, when you were a judge, you didn't feel that. I mean, when you were a practicing lawyer, you didn't know that, is it? The last question. So I don't want to say further. Please find a way out where all disputes have a finality as early as possible. Otherwise, I have heard, and I believe it to be true, justice dispensation will be taken over by the underground, which will be much quicker, much cheaper, and there will be a finality to that, I think. So just think it over. How will you have a system which is acceptable to the society, where justice is delivered as at the earliest possible way? I just give a hint. One of them might be to reduce the number of fora you have for appeal and revision. Because that delay really leads to injustice in the end. There's a saying in Kannada, Geddavanu sota, sotavanu satta. The winner loses and he who loses is dead. And I think in reality also it is true. Right? Therefore, you've got to find a way out of this. Otherwise, of course, as I mentioned, as compared to any other profession, you are into a great bit of everything. And realize it is not only a money-making profession, but also giving relief to people who have, for some reason or other, have some problem which has led to this litigation. And I think litigation, according to me, in today's context, is a curse. Give relief to your clients the earliest possible way. In the process, please change the law's delays and reduce the time of finality of a litigation thing. My dear students, I don't want to say anything more about the profession because I'm not a great learned person, but I'm a very lucky person in the profession at every stage, whatever post I have held, I have not gone there because of merit, but people trusted me and I have not failed them. I did my best possible. As it's pointed out, I was the Advocate General of Karnataka. I was the Solicitor General of India. I was directly appointed to the Supreme Court, and 6 years I worked there. And I worked in other places. Now, why I'm trying to curtail my talk on legal profession or legal studies is because the best part of my professional life was spent as Lokayukta Karnataka. Very often, having come to the Lokayukta Karnataka, I very often felt that till then I was a frog in the well. Really did not know the sufferings of the people. And Karnataka Lokayukta gave me such an opportunity that I have forgotten most of my experience in many other positions that I have held. I saw so much of sufferings of the people. And Lokayukta at that point of time had only two jurisdictions. One is grievance redressal, giving relief to people who suffer from maladministration. Second is fighting corruption through the Lokayukta police. Lokayukta himself is not a police officer, so he could not have investigated the case himself, but through his police force, he could help that. And that experience of mine is something fantastic. And this is something is necessary for your other part of life apart from your profession. Unless there is peace and solidarity in this society, you'll never be happy. And there will be no peace and solidarity in the society unless you have certain social values. That's the most important thing today in the society. Because according to me, for whatever the position that is prevailing in this country today, individuals are not responsible. It is the society which is responsible. Of course, society is an inanimate body, but its thought influences the people. And when I was young, that society respected only the honest people. It never respected the dishonest people. For example, if somebody was sent to jail in my village, my parents would tell me, don't go near that house. It was a punishment not only to the man who committed the crime, but also to his family. So people were afraid of committing crime. There was crime, because crime is the creation of the Creator himself, says they want to be there. The question is, what do we accept in life? So crime was very little at that point of time. As the centuries have gone by, things have changed, like many other things. The attitude of the society has also changed. Today's society, according to me, respects money and power only. Honesty has no value. Very often, I hear people saying, oh, he's a useless chap. I say, he doesn't take, it doesn't allow others to take. That's the definition of honesty today. With that society, I doubt whether there could be peace and solidarity. You've got to change the attitude of that society. That's today's society that we can see, for example, what's happening. People go to jail, take a bail and come out, not even acquitted. Hundreds of people go to the airport to receive them, garland them with apple garlands, shout slogans in their favor, as if they've done a great job. And if you ask them, why do you do this to a man who has gone to jail? They will tell you, what, sir? He's the only one who went to jail. Eh? Mahatma Gandhi didn't go to jail. This is the attitude of today's society. It respects money. How you acquire has no meaning to it, That's why there is a mad race into today's society to make money. They want to become rich. Only other alternative is to hold big posts. Why? You have a big post, you get money. You have money, you can buy a post. My dear students, what is that peace that you expect from a society like this? But what is the cure? This is because of the fact Now, majority of the people in this country suffer from a disease called greed. This disease has no treatment. Cancer has treatment, COVID has vaccination, it has treatment, tuberculosis has treatment, almost all known diseases have some treatment or other. Greed has no treatment. People are not afraid of law. For example, in China, sentence for corruption is death sentence. As per Transparency International, a German organization which makes assessment of honest countries in this world, China, at least in 2016, was more corrupt than India. And India punishment is only maximum is 7 years. Nobody is afraid of it. In India, that 7 years comes after 50 years of litigation. And meantime, you get a bail because the sentence is not death or life imprisonment. So naturally, the preference is jail or bail. The bail is the preference in such cases. What is the way out? Only way out, as per my knowledge, I'll be very happy if somebody could invent something better than that and all this, is to inculcate a value called contentment in life, what we call tripti in vernacular. You don't have to buy that. You don't have to pay any money for that. But you have to inculcate. If you have contentment in life, you don't get this disease called greed. But how do we inculcate? When I was young, my parents told me the do's and don'ts of life. If I made a mistake, I was corporally punished. When I went to school, I had a subject called moral science, Niti Pata, which inculcated what my parents told me. But today, most of the parents are working, and working, according to me, is a disease also. You want to go to a big post, you want promotion, you want to prove to the boss that you are capable of doing the bigger job. So you bring the headache home and work in your laptop whole night. You don't ask your children, what did you do today? What punishment you got? What good thing you have done? No. Where do you learn it from? Laptops don't give you this information. Your iPhones don't give this information to you. How to inculcate contentment in life. I have realized this, and I can assure you I have practiced it. Not 1 rupee in my life I have taken, which is legitimately not mine. I named 3 chief ministers in my mining report, one from Congress, one from JDS, one from BJP. I never hesitated, including the man who invited me to become the Lokayukta. I named him no corruption. One chief minister, the same chief minister who invited me, said, my nightlife should be audited because there's something very, very sinful it must be. So I gave him a reply, which has come in all the newspapers. I'm the only Lokayukta till date also, but this statement was made in 2012, who has put his assets and liability statement the day I entered the Lokayukta office in the website of the Lokayukta. Even today it is there. Many people ask me, when the law doesn't require, why are you trying to show off? I said, we are in a democracy. If I have the right to ask a public servant to give their assets and liability statement to me, they must have the right to ask me, how much do you have? I said, look into that website, how much I have. I have in the whole world, I have 1 apartment, no other property. My bank accounts are there. Go see what you want. I also mentioned it publicly, it appeared in the newspaper. Then it was 43 years, now it is 54 years. I have only 1 wife, I said. But that's what I could afford. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives great bit of pleasure when you have not committed anything wrong. Inculcate contentment in life. Don't require sleeping pills in the night. You're not afraid of ED raiding, ID raiding, the robbers coming. The second value, only 2 values you have to inculcate. The second is humanism. We all think we are born human beings. No, there is no species called human beings. In science, we are born to a species called Homo sapiens, which has got nothing to do with humanism. Humanism is a value our elders created in the society for peace and solidarity. If you have humanism, you become a human being. in Karnataka, it must be there in other states also, but since I am not very well versed in Hindi and other things, other languages, I don't know. In Kannada, their poets have said, "Ene agu, ninige bekadavanagu, ಆದರೆ ಮೊದಲು ಮಾನವನಾಗು" ಅಂತ. Become what you want to become in life, but become a human being first. What a statement. I have added my own listening into that. And I've mentioned to the students when I go to various institutions and I'll say it in Kannada, I'll repeat it in English. ಹುಟ್ಟುವಾಗ ಮಾನವನಾಗಿ ಹುಟ್ಟದೇ ಇದ್ರು ಜೀವನ ಪಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾನವೀಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಅಳವಡಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಸಾಯುವಾಗ ಮಾನವನಾಗಿ ಸತ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಂತ ಗೌರವ ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ. Even if you are not born as a human being in the journey of your life, if you acquire humanism, exhibit it, then die as a human being. There is no better glory than that. Acquire humanism. It doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your life for exhibiting your humanism. No, everybody gets an opportunity, many, many opportunities in life. For example, in 2009, a 28-year-old youngster named Harish Nanjappa was riding a motorcycle in the outskirts of Bangalore. A punctured wheel of a lorry which ran over him, and his body was severed to 2 pieces. He was still alive. There are a number of people were videographing, taking photographs and everything. He asked them to give me a little water. Nobody would give it. A little later, the ambulance came. Ambulance picked the 2 pieces of body and put it in the ambulance. And as they were driving to the hospital, he told the staff, he was still alive, told the staff, "Please tell the doctor to donate my eyes." It's not a story made up by me for occasions like this. ZTV gave his mother a posthumous award in our son's name, and I was invited to give it. Look at that humanism there. That should not happen, such experience, to any one of you. But in everyday life, just recapitulate how many times you had an opportunity in life to show humanism. And how often have you responded positively to it? My dear students, it's your future. I'm 83 years old. I travel day in and day out. Not to functions which is where there is no meaning to the statement I make. I want you all to change this society and build a society which has minimum 2 values. Contentment. When I say contentment, it doesn't mean that you get a job, you get a degree, you get a job. Then Mr. Hegde said that he's become a sannyasi or something. No, you all must have an ambition. Ambition to grow, ambition to become somebody big, ambition even to become rich. Legitimately earned wealth is no product of sin. Earn as much as you can. Pay your taxes. But don't steal it from somebody's pocket. Don't steal it from somebody's plate. That wealth will never, ever bring you happiness. Ambition is part of human beings' life. You must have. But keep it in within the 4 corners of law. My dear students, it's your future. I'll just give you some examples of growth of greed in our country. In the decade of 50s, there was a scam called Jeep scam. In importing Jeep vehicles for our soldiers, country lost 52 lakhs of rupees siphoned off by few people in power. I'll give you one example in 1 decade because I don't have the time to mention others, even though I have the knowledge of it. In the decade of 60s, there was another scam called Bofors. In importing weapons for our soldiers, country lost 64 crores of rupees, from 52 lakhs to 64 crores. In 70s, there was a scam called Commonwealth Games. Country lost 70,000 crores of rupees. These figures are not mine. These are the figures after investigation given to the government of India by the constitutional authority called CAG, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. He said in Commonwealth Games, 70,000 crores were lost. Then came Colgate, the coal scam. Country lost 1,76,000 crores. G-scam, country lost 1,85,000 crores. I don't want to talk about Rafael and other scams in this thing. If so much money is siphoned off from public funds, what is the advantage of development you're talking about? We talk about development. Yes, country has developed. But how much it would have developed if the entire money earmarked for the project is gone there? In 1985, then the Prime Minister of India, late Rajiv Gandhi, made a public statement in which he said in 1985, out of 1 rupee government gave for development, only 15 paise reached the target. 1985, out of 1 rupee, 15 paise. We are in 2023. The greed has not come down for whatever reason. Today, out of 100 rupees, 15 rupees go for project development. What will it be in another 10, 15, 20 years? Change will come. How will it come, though? That's the most important factor. If it comes through revolution, it's the end of the matter. There's no winner in revolution. And in a country like ours, which has got multiple religions, multiple language, a revolution is the easiest way to bring about a change. Today, we are fighting with Tamil Nadu for Kaveri water in Supreme Court. A day is not far off when we may have to fight it out in a war field. See what's happening in Ukraine. For whose sake the war is going on. There's no conflict between human beings and animals anymore because our conflict is within ourselves. Whose benefit is that fight is going on? Where will we go? Without peace, what will be your future, your children's future? It doesn't take much sacrifice to become an honest human being. I think that is what is required today, my dear students. And future is in your hands. Change this society. Build a society in which there will be peace and solidarity. Let's forget, I'm a great believer in my religion, but my religion is my personal affair. I don't compare my religion with any other religion. I don't find fault with another religion. It is their affair. I don't say my language is the greatest language, but I have respect for my language. Let us keep that respect, but keep it to ourselves. Let's not find frictions for the sake of creating an atmosphere of instability. My dear students, country needs you people to change it. You can change it, provided you make the viewpoint. Coming to this program of yours, the Moot Court is one of the best possible things you have to learn, and you learn it now. I had people interning with me, law students interning with me as a judge, as a lawyer. It is a great thing to watch and see that they could cite a judgment which I have not read and which is required for either deciding the case or when I was a lawyer to argue the case. And what a way to come out as a complete lawyer. I wish you all the very best. May God be with you all. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, sir. It's an absolute pleasure to hear from you every time. And we feel motivated. And we know that there is a duty in our shoulders which we have to carry forward. Thank you so much. An army is good only as good as its soldier. And a university is good only as good as its scholar. And we have with us a great scholar and a soldier who is none other than Dr. Mukul Saxena. Dr. Mukul, an alumnus of the prestigious National Defense Academy, Pune. He served in the Indian Army for more than 2 decades before taking premature retirement in 2017. As a colonel, he has distinction to command an infantry regiment and one of the 10 territorial army home and hearth regiments in the Indian Army. In addition, he has served in the National Security Guard and the Rashtriya Rifles in Kashmir. He was awarded twice by the Indian Army for selfless devotion to the duty. Alongside his military career, he has equally strong academic and public policy profile. a PhD from the Tata Institute of Social Science, Mumbai. He is Master's in Public Administration, Edward Mason Fellow, Harvard University, USA. During this period, he was awarded the John Kenneth Galbraith Public Service Fellowship and was the only Indian in the Diversity Committee. In 2005, he has become the first Child Advocacy Fellow to the Harvard Law School, USA, and later served as a consultant to the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, New Delhi. He has a strong interdisciplinary experience with a cross-section of law and public policy in specialized area of ESG, public policy making, international human rights law, the law of armed conflict, international law of peacekeeping, human rights and development, national security laws, child rights and refugee laws, and anything which I could name off. In addition, he also specialized in life skill training, subjects relating to military leadership, adaptive leadership, personal capacity building, and immunity to change. After a brief sojourn, he joined back to Alliance University as a professor and director, Center for PG and Legal Studies, and Center for Leadership and Public Policy. It's my esteemed pleasure to call upon Dr. Mukul Saxena for the word of thanks. So, over to you.
A very good morning to everybody. Honorable Justice N. Santosh Hegde, former Judge, Supreme Court of India, Dr. Kiran Gardner, Dean, Alliance School of Law, the dignitaries, participants, faculty and staff, student volunteers, and the Alliance fraternity. It is indeed an honor and privilege for me to express a vote of thanks. A special thanks and our sincere appreciation to Honorable Justice Santosh Hegde for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest, sir. The university is equally honored by your presence as we host the National Moot competition. And we are extremely thankful for your generosity for allowing us to use your name, sir. You know, as I look across, this seminar hall represents the diaspora of India with 38 teams representing from all across the country. I thank each one of you individually for having the faith of coming to Alliance University and participating in the Moot competition. And my thanks will be incomplete if I don't thank your institutions which enabled you to come here, and the parents and your parents who gave you the courage and had the faith in all of you coming here. You know, you see this calm and poise of the Moot competition today. And I can't stop thanking Dr. Abhishek Srivastava and his team who have made this happen. And trust me, they have missed sleepless nights to make this happen. And I hope your presence here at Alliance would be a wonderful experience to cherish. Not just as participants, but a place where you will build friendship and bonds for a life. I must equally admit one more thing and thank the Moot competition team who drafted the Moot problem. I will take it from what sir said. How long will this profession continue? And one more thing which we were discussing, and I'll tell you why this Moot problem of the corporate side is extremely important. When sir told us in the 1970s and 80s, there were more than 200 lakes in Bangalore. And today we scarcely see some. And that gets you a kind of vulnerability in the corporate field. You will look at this problem today from the context of corporate liability, investments. But let me tell you why this problem is very futuristic. Today, as per the Bloomberg says, there are more than $125 trillion available for investments. So that's where the corporate will play. You have a set of global challenges in future, not just limited to accountability of the corporates, but about major global challenges, sustainability, climate change, where you will see accountability coming up there. And as I will sum it up in my thank you note by saying, the country needs you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now it's my turn to thank you all. I thank all the seats filled here today and the heart and soul that's staying here today. Before moving ahead, we pray with all humility, give us wisdom to make this country a better place, to evoke the feeling of patriotism and remind you of the nation's glory and beauty. I request you all to stand up in respect of our national anthem.
शुभ आशीष मांगे
I request the participants to stay in this hall until your volunteers is being taken of you off.
Participants, all of you have been assigned your courtrooms, correct? All of you are in touch with your liaisons, correct? Okay, so we request you all to stay back here. Your liaisons will take you to your courtrooms at around 10 past 10. Around start at 10:30. So please be there maximum by 10:15. Arrange yourselves, get ready. Okay. Come on.